Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to pass a supply chain interview. So it does not matter whether you are being interviewed to become a supply chain manager, a supply chain specialist, or even if you are applying to be part of a graduate scheme within supply chain. This tutorial will make a huge difference to your preparation, so please do stick around and watch it from beginning to end. Now, before I get into those tips and the all-important supply chain interview questions and answers, a very warm welcome to this tutorial. As I say, my name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the center, and I'm going to focus on giving you top scoring answers that you can't find anywhere else. On that basis, please do watch the video from beginning to end. Please also subscribe, and I would very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like. That always motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Now, in preparation for your supply chain interview, you and I need to make sure that you demonstrate the following key skills and attributes. These are the things that you will be assessed against. Your ability to build positive, long-lasting relationships with key suppliers, manufacturers, and also logistic companies. You also should have a thorough understanding of the supply chain process. Now, if you don't know that, I will give you the perfect answer to an interview question that is focused on your understanding of what the supply chain process is. Now, a lot of people also who work within the supply chain industry believe they have the perfect answer to this, but it can catch you out because it's a simple question, but you need to make sure you demonstrate you have a thorough understanding, and I will make sure that you do that during this tutorial. Also, demonstrate that you have a determined, positive and resolute attitude towards your duties. Ensure you have a thorough understanding of how the supply chain process can impact both positively and negatively on your organization's operations. And finally, prove that you have accuracy skills, problem-solving skills, and also an ability to solve problems whilst you are under pressure. So with the following supply chain interview questions and answers that are coming right now, I will make sure that you demonstrate all of those key core skills and attributes. So the first question during any supply chain interview is going to be, tell me about yourself. So this question I have created for you is, tell me about yourself and why we should hire you in this supply chain position. So here is my perfect answer to this question. I have worked in supply chain for a number of years now, and I feel the experiences I have gained have brought me to the position I am in today, where I am the perfect match for your company. I am conscientious, determined, resilient, and professional in my approach to my supply chain duties. And I also understand that without someone performing their duties in this position to a high standard, your organization cannot function effectively. With me, you will get someone who has a thorough understanding of the supply chain process, an ability to work effectively as part of a team, and also a proven track record of achievement whilst completing difficult tasks under pressure. You should hire me simply because, based on my experience, skills, and my passion, I am the best person for this job. So that is a confident answer, it's a positive answer, and it also demonstrates the core skills that are required to be competent within any supply chain position. So you can either take a note of these answers, you can pause the video and write them down, or if you stick around, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 22 supply chain interview questions and answers as we progress. So, second question, what is the supply chain? Now, this is a common question during supply chain interviews, and a lot of people that I've spoken to believe they know what it is, but when they come to answer it, they can get caught out. So, here is my model answer to this question. In very simple terms, the supply chain is a system that involves organizations, people, resources, activities, and information that are all involved in the process of moving a product or service from the supplier to the customer. Now, with a supply chain, there are usually an entire network of different entities that are all interlinked, working towards serving the same consumer or customer. So an example of a very simple supply chain is where a vendor supplies a raw material, a producer then turns that material into a product, a warehouse then stores the product, a distribution center delivers the product to the retailer, who then in turn delivers it to the consumer or the end user. So that question demonstrates you have a thorough knowledge of what a supply chain is and how important it is to the effective operations of an organisation. So I've highlighted in red the key different entities of a supply chain. So you need to build your answer around those. Okay, next question of your supply chain interview. Why have you chosen to work for our company in this position within supply chain? So it is a standard question, pretty much guaranteed to come up during your supply chain interview. Why do you want to work for our company? Here's my suggested answer. I've applied to work for your company for 3 specific reasons. The first reason is because you are a leader within this industry. I know that I'll be supported in my role to carry out my duties to the highest standards possible. Secondly, because you have lots of positive employee reviews on the website glassdoor.com. I think anyone would find you attractive as an employer. Finally, looking at your latest news section on your website, you are clearly an employer who has exciting and ambitious plans for the future. And on that basis, I would love to work for you, simply because you're obviously striving to be the best you can be, and you see your workforce as a core element of your future plans and success. I like that answer because you're focusing on 3 specific things. The majority of people at the supply chain interview who you are competing with will only come up with 1 reason, but you are giving 3 valid reasons why you want to work for their organisation. So the first one is that you'll be supported to carry out your duties to the highest standards possible. The second one is that on the website Glassdoor, there are lots of positive employee reviews, which proves it's a great place to work. And finally, they have exciting plans for the future and you want to be a part of that. So I have 2 more questions to run through, so please do stick around. They're tough ones, but I'll give you some great answers to them. But when you're ready, click the link in the top right-hand corner of that video and you can download my full set of 22 supply chain interview questions and top scoring answers. Let's move on to the next question. Tell me one thing you like the most about supply chain and one thing you dislike. So we've got to be careful when answering this question. Let me repeat it. Tell me one thing you like the most about supply chain and one thing you dislike. So you can't say, I don't like any, there's nothing I dislike. I like everything about it, because that's not true. There will be some things within any role that you dislike, but we have to be careful what we say here. So here's my great answer to this question. That's a good question. The one thing I like the most about working in supply chain is the fact you get to work with so many different companies, people and organisations to build up long-term positive relationships that everyone can benefit from. The sheer nature of supply chain means if one thing goes wrong, it can have a negative impact on the entire chain. So it's important to build up strong relationships where everyone is aware of the standards and the expectations. The one thing I dislike is where, on the odd occasion, you'll come across either a supplier, a manufacturer or a distributor who doesn't have the same drive, the standards or expectations as yourself. And obviously this is frustrating because it can impact on your own operational capabilities. Having said that, it is situations like this where I believe my strengths and my interpersonal skills lie. I enjoy a challenge and I will always go out of my way to get things sorted quickly in order to keep the supply chain active and negate any negative impact on my employer or their operations. That's a good answer because you are saying there is one thing that you dislike, which anybody would dislike that thing where you're waiting on a manufacturer, supplier or distributor and they let you down, but you are building up the interpersonal skills to deal with that particular challenge and you can overcome it. Next question. Describe a time when you disagreed with your manager or supervisor. Now, this is a common question during supply chain interviews because you may find yourself in a disagreement with your manager in respect of how to handle a particular part of the supply chain. Because when there are problems within supply chains, it can cause pressure and somebody has to make a decision. So we have to be very careful how we answer this question, but we have to give a specific time where you've disagreed. So here is my great answer to this question. In a previous supply chain role, we encountered a situation where a manufacturer who had not let us down for many years started to show signs of unreliability. I approached my manager and suggested we should start to look for an alternative supplier as soon as possible to ensure the supply chain was not affected. My manager disagreed with me and stated we should stick with them and give them the opportunity to turn things around. Now, although I disagreed with him, I respected his decision, but I also started to explore other manufacturers in my spare time, just in case he changed his mind and he gave me the go-ahead to look for someone else. As it transpired, my manager was right, and the manufacturer sorted things out. However, I felt I dealt with the situation correctly, and I would always raise any concerns if I felt it could impact negatively on the supply chain and ultimately our operations. So that shows that you're respectful, but more importantly, you're not afraid to speak out. And what I also like about that answer is you are taking the initiative to do the work in your spare time to look for another manufacturer just in case you need them and your manager changes his or her mind. So that's a great answer. So don't forget, if you'd like to download my full supply chain interview questions and answers to pretty much guarantee you pass your supply chain job interview, please click the link below this video or go to my website, passmyinterview.com. I hope you enjoyed those top scoring answers. Please subscribe and also please like the video. Very much appreciate that. Thank you for watching and I wish you all the best for passing your supply chain interview. Have a brilliant day.